Hi, my name's Mark. So one thing my students give me quite a lot about music theory is that they don't really need it. It's quite nitpicky, and for something that's supposed to answer a lot of their questions, it kinda leaves more questions unanswered. With one of the more basic ones being, if I play you this note, is it a C sharp? Is it a D flat? Why and how can it be both? Or even maybe, if I play you this chord, why is it a minor add 9 chord, but then if I play this chord, why is it a sus2 instead of a sus9 chord? Or even when it comes to the blues scale, this note, is it a sharp 4? Is it a flat 5? What is it? And trust me, I get it. I was once in that situation myself. And yes, music theory can be quite nitpicky, but it's kind of when you're correcting somebody. You don't really like when they correct you, but when you see some kind of grammar mistake or something that isn't quite correct, most of you will feel the need to correct them, right? And it's not because you're nitpicky, it's just because since you know the correct terms, you want to share those with everybody else, right? Well, the same thing with music theory. You may think that all of this is useless and that you don't really need music theory, and I'm not saying you do, but once you know it, you won't really regret knowing about it. So I thought I'd do a video explaining these topics, which are, again, the ones that my students have brought up the most all over the years. And hey, if you're not a student of mine and you're watching this, and you either don't really understand all of this music theory rubbish, so you clicked on this video, or even maybe you do know a lot about this stuff, but you just decided to click on this video, please keep watching. And if you want to be a student, stay tuned till the end of the video. I have a giveaway that you might be interested in. But before we do, I just want to say, please subscribe to my channel. You're probably aware that YouTube's been acting a little bit weird lately, and if you subscribe to a channel, those channel's videos may really not show up in our subscription box. And even if you ring the little notification bell thingy below, you still really may not be notified of that channel's content. So if you want to stay tuned to my content and or the content of your favorite creators, you really should subscribe and turn on all the notifications. And since that may or may not work, I highly suggest you follow me on social media. Not only do I post some exclusive stuff there, like improvised solos and jamming over backing tracks, and generally whatever I'm up to at the moment, but I always post there about my videos. Links for the usual ones like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, even though I don't really post much on Twitter, will be below, but in general at Mark Henrik Guitar. And since you're down there, please consider leaving a like, and perhaps check out some of my other videos after this one. Perhaps you'd like to check out why your modes don't really sound like modes, or even maybe learn weird time signatures and getting to weird time arrangements just by learning this one anime character theme song. And last but not leastly, learn all of the picking techniques and even perhaps get a girlfriend just by learning this one riff. All of those videos will be on the description below, on the card section right there, and on the annotations of the end screen. So please, stay tuned. And I guess now we can get straight into it. Okay, so getting into the nitty gritty of this, let's start with the easier one, right? Again, we're tuned in standard tuning. And this note, the 3rd fret of the A string, is a C note, and the 5th fret is a D note. What is this note? Well, it's either a C sharp or a D flat. And you ask me, how can it be either one? Well, here's the thing. If you play a C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, that scale has 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 8th note, which is a C again, where we can start the scale over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say that for some reason we don't want to play the C major scale. We want to play the C Lydian scale, which is the exact same scale you had before, but instead of playing your regular 4th, you play a sharpened 4th, aka you take your C major scale, and you take the 4th note, 1, 2, 3, 4, in this case is that F note, and we sharpen the F, since this note is an F, and we sharpen the F, this note will become an F sharp. Not a G flat, because the G is right here. We're not flattening the G to do the scale. If we would be flattening the G, our scale would be where we flattened the G, the 5th note. But that's not what we did. We sharpened the 4th, so instead of having, we now have the same thing with the other example that we had before. This chord is a minor add 9 chord, in this case a C sharp minor add 9 chord. Or maybe you play it like this. It still has the same notes. This position has C sharp, a G sharp, a D sharp, and an E. And this position also has all of those notes. C sharp, D sharp, G sharp, and E. Even though it's kind of a stretchy position, Many people think this is an add 9 chord because we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Since we're adding this note, it's a ninth. So those of you would assume that in this position, it would be called an add 2 chord because it's not the ninth anymore, it's the 2. We're playing it in this octave, we're playing the D sharp here and not here. But that's not exactly it. We actually call it a ninth because in Western styles of music, we kind of build chords around stacking thirds. So what does that mean if we go again to the C major scale? Stacking thirds would mean, okay, we have our first note C, and we go to the third note. 1, 2, 3, okay, we have C and E. Then we go to that E, and we go to the third note of that E. 1, 2, 3, okay, we have a G. So we have C, G, E. If we had just stopped at the G, we would get a C chord. We kept going, so we had a C major 7 chord. If we keep going, we would have to add the D note. It's kind of weird to do it in this position, we kind of have to do it like this. So since by stacking thirds, we would first get root, third, fifth, seventh, ninth. So that's why we call this an add 9 chord. Not because this note is the second note of the scale just an octave up. It's because by our rules of constructing chords, we can only get to that note by stacking thirds 4 times. And by stacking thirds 4 times, we aren't really in the first octave of the scale. We have already went to the second octave of the scale. So yeah, even if we play this chord with that D sharp an octave lower, again in this weird position, we would still kind of call it an add 9 chord. And even though they work slightly different, depending on the octave you're playing them with the chord, they still have the same function within the scale. That's why this chord, or even maybe in this version, again without the E, it's a sus2 and not a sus9th. And why is that? Well, to put it briefly, if you don't have a third, in this case the E, making the chord minor, or that F, making it major, if you don't have any of those, for instance the power chord, it's not a major chord, not a minor chord. So since the third is really important, if instead of having an E or an F, you have a D sharp, for like in this chord, or in this chord, you'll get a suspended chord. You kind of have this two, kind of wanting to resolve to the third. The same thing if instead of having a sus2, we have a sus4. Let's be honest, when you hear this, you hear the resolution, right? Of going from suspended and then resolving it to major. Or even resolving it to minor, right? You can hear the resolution. I hope that was kind of an okay explanation. To be completely honest, I didn't really have an idea for a video. I was working on the second episode of the Yates series, so I kind of decided to do a random quick video. I'm not really sure how well it's gonna turn out, but even if all of this was rubbish, at least I hope you understood why when you're playing this against this, why this note is an F sharp and not a G flat, or maybe why when you're playing this chord and you're playing this chord, why these are both add 9 chords and not one being an add 9 chord and one being an add 2 chord. And again, touching on this before, I know what many of you are going to say. Well, yeah, this is cool and all, but I don't really need this confusing, messed up music theory. But that's not what we did. I think it's best to have this knowledge and not really need to use it, than really needing to use it and not being able to. So yeah, I guess we can end with that. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you in any way possible. And if it was, please leave me a comment below. Do you have anything to add to this discussion? Did you agree? Did you not agree? Was there something I missed? Something I should have said? Don't forget to leave it in the comment section below. Also, if you have any suggestions for videos, I have this dedicated series called Yate, You Ask, I Teach. Again, quite a generic and pretty self-explanatory title, but again, where I teach anything you guys leave in the comment section below. Guitar and music related, of course. So if you have anything you want me to talk about and or you want to get a shout out, please don't forget to leave it in the comment section below with the hashtag Yate. And as always, and as mentioned before, I'm giving away free one-on-one Skype lessons. And anyone can enter, but there are limited those, so you gotta be fast. And all you have to do to win one free Skype lesson and discounts on future lessons is to subscribe to my channel, turn on all the notifications, follow me on Instagram, and then DM me on Instagram or you did one of my other social medias with screenshots proving that you did everything mentioned before. And yeah, I guess that's it. Again, thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on all the notifications. Follow me on social media, perhaps apply for those Skype lesson thingies. Please leave a comment for my Yate series, again, episode 2 coming soon. Please check out some of my other videos after this one. Again, there are some in the card section right there, that will be in the description below, and will be on the annotation section of the end screen in just a couple seconds, so please stay tuned. And yeah, cheers!